They're telling me that it's never been done before. They're telling me that it can't be done. So I got to do it. I'm going to freeze dry barbecue spare ribs. So I've been trying to come up with a new idea for a freeze dry video, and I love to do freeze dry videos that have to do with, making basically camping experiences better and also emergency food stores better. So I was thinking, I wonder if you can freeze dry barbecue spare ribs on the bone. So I sent an email to my buddy Matt over at Harvest Right. He said he doesn't know if anybody's ever done it before, and he sounded very skeptical in the email about whether it's even possible. So I picked up the gauntlet and I'm going to take this challenge. I'm freeze drying barbecue spare ribs. Right now in the pit barrel cooker, I have 2 racks of barbecue spare ribs, a whole chicken cut in half, and then a tri-tip that I'm cooking as well. Everything that's in this pit right now is going to be freeze dried. In this video, I'm not focusing on the actual cook. I'm not focusing on the barbecuing of the meats. I'm focusing on the freeze drying and the rehydration of the meats, mainly the ribs. I want to see if it's even doable. As far as that tri-tip's concerned, it's a small tri-tip and it's done. I'm going to pull it out and just do a quick reverse sear on that. I'll be slicing up and freeze drying the meats all together, so you'll see that. But again, this is done. As far as the ribs and the chicken, probably got another 3.5 hours left on those. So I'll keep you guys posted. You'll see me next when these beautiful pieces of meat are ready to go into the freeze dryer. 3 hours into this cook, chicken's done. I'm going to give the ribs a little bit longer. Probably maybe, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes more. Chicken turned out, it's looking really, really good. Let's check that out. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm getting good pullback on the ribs. They're just not tender enough yet. So again, I'm guessing another 20, 30 minutes. See you then. 30 minutes have passed. These ribs are done. Look at those. Beautiful. So I'm going to allow these to cool a little bit, then we'll get them sliced and prepped up for that freeze dryer. And here's what we're dealing with now. I've got the ribs all sliced up, as you can see. Ended up with a pretty nice smoke ring there. Chicken, I pretty much just pulled the meat off the breast, sliced it, and pulled the thigh meat. I'm not doing anything with the legs or the wings. In fact, my son had the wings for lunch today. And here is that tri-tip all sliced up, ready to go. Now, one thing I will say, when freeze drying meats, the thinner the slice, the better. So the meat on a rib, because there is a bone there, I'm hoping that this is thin enough to freeze dry. I think, for guaranteed success, removing it from the bone would be the way to go, but I'm doing this just to more or less see if I can do it. So that's why I'm doing that. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this in the freeze dryer. So when you first turn the machine on, it's going to ask you to not put the food trays in yet, because it wants to cool the chamber down for 15 minutes. Once that 15-minute time elapses, you'll get a message here to load the trays into the freeze dryer. So it's just an insulated pillow, comes off. We'll start adding the trays. You want to place the pillow back in place. Shut the door. And it's very, very important that this drain valve is closed, or else the machine will not draw a vacuum. So we just follow steps at this point. Continue freezing. So what's going to happen now is the machine is going to freeze the food like rock solid inside the vacuum chamber. And then once it's completely frozen, it's going to start drawing a vacuum. And because of the vacuum, the temperature is going to drop to 40 degrees Fahrenheit below zero. And once that happens, the trays have little heaters on top that'll activate. So while this is under this uber deep freeze under vacuum, the heaters are going to actually be evaporating the water off of the meat. And because it's in a vacuum, all of the water is going to stick to the inside of the vacuum chamber. It's pretty amazing. So anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow. And here we are. All of this barbecued food is now freeze dried. We have the chicken. I mean, it's like styrofoam. We have the tri-tip, I mean, perfectly freeze dried, ready to rehydrate. And we have the ribs, all successfully freeze dried. The whole process, from the time that these trays entered the Harvest Right freeze dryer, took just under 24 hours, literally 10 minutes under 24 hours. And I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed that we ended up with freeze dried pork spare ribs. So now the fun part, we're gonna go ahead and rehydrate. I'm not gonna do all this food obviously, but a sampling of each meat. So place the chicken in here, the tri-tip in here, put the rib in here. Now, I can tell you just from experience, these thin pieces of meat like this tri-tip, it's going to be a few seconds literally before it rehydrates. Same with the chicken. So this is just hot water from the tap, and I'm gonna cover the meat here. Basically, this meat will absorb only the amount of moisture that it gave up during the freeze drying process. I'm guessing this rib is going to take a little bit longer than the chicken and the tri-tip. And again, this is hot water from the tap, so it's probably right around 129 degrees or so. And again, like I said, almost immediately, chicken's done. I mean, it's just like it came out of the pit. And it tastes like it just came out of the cooker. You would never know that that was freeze dried. Now the tri-tip, I mean, it's got that, tri-tip texture. I cooked it medium rare, and it does not look as rare as it did. But, I just immersed it in almost 130 degree water too. Boy, oh boy, though. Tastes good. And now for the rib. Feels a lot heavier. And I'm gonna let it rehydrate a little bit longer. Okay, I gave it another 10 minutes. And I think it's going to be an edible rib. Now, as expected, I mean, a lot of the rub, the crust I had on the outside is gone. It's in the water now. It's like a broth. But let's see how it eats. I mean, it eats pretty good. See a nice smoke ring I got? I'm actually very shocked. Now, these ribs were extremely tender when they came out of the pit barrel. It's not eating as tender as when it first came out of the pit barrel. And I don't know if maybe just a little bit more time in the hot water would solve that problem, but I will tell you this, it's not tough. It's just not as tender as it was. So I was wondering if if there's no effect on the bone just feels like a strong pork bone. Wow. I'm actually pretty amazed. I'm impressed. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking rehydrate these things, then hit them with a little sauce or maybe a little bit more rub and heat them up a little bit. And I'm actually surprised. I did not expect this to work, and it did. So there. Anyway, thanks for checking it out. I'll have a link down below for Harvest Right. This freeze dryer is amazing, and it's actually quite a money saver, especially for a small family like I have, where we have a lot of leftovers. And freeze-dried foods, you know, we'll keep it as just leftovers, or, you know, we have emergency food, or I'll take it out on camping trips. So it's definitely worth it. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. If you're not subscribed, please do. Make sure you thumb it up, hit the notification bell, and keep those suggestions coming in. I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.